As I sit down to record this video, we're just 8 days away from Thanksgiving 2020. And as we prepare for Thanksgiving next week, we know things will be different. I can't help but recall being a younger child sitting around the Thanksgiving table with my family, my cousins, to be more precise, keeping a very close circle of conversation. It always felt awkward to try and be part of the adult conversation, and in fact the kids were separated in the proverbial kids' table anyway. But why does it have to be this way? Are there things we can do to break these intergenerational conversation barriers on a day-to-day basis? To find out, I designed a very simple experiment based on images designed to provoke memories. Those memories, I would hope, would translate into stories, and it would be those stories that would create a common bond between the participants in the panel. To test this idea, I invited 6 people from different generations to participate in a 1-hour online meeting. 4 of the 6 accepted, and this short session provided some key insights into how to spark intergenerational conversations.
What do you think is special about your generation?
What defines my generation?
What's a generation?
Millennials love Doug, and I'm like, I was too old for Doug. I liked Muppet Babies, things like that.
Most of the kids knows how to use electronics a lot better than most of the adults do.
It's pretty cool. Not like 80s or something where my mom was born, where the telephones are hooked onto a wall.
It's obvious from these comments that intergenerational differences do exist. So back to the original question. How do you change that? After some simple icebreaker questions, my panel, consisting of 2 Gen Zs, 1 Millennial, and 1 Boomer, moderated by myself, a Gen Xer, was ready to dive in. I displayed images on the Zoom screen and invited participants to describe their familiarity and memories with the objects. It didn't take long for folks to get engaged.
The roller skates for me.
Which ones, Adam?
The ones in the top right next to the tram car.
And why is that?
Because I like to roller skate outside, and I also like to play hockey on them. So you probably made this just for me.
Mine is the train right next to the rollerblade. I don't know if that's the Patco, but it reminds me of the Patco. And the memory I have of that is 2 parts. When I was a kid, my mom worked in Philly, and she would take me into work with her a lot, and I would be allowed to sit and play under her desk. And so I grew up going on the train a lot, and then when I got to college age, that was the really cool thing to do, was to take the train into Philly, and I would do it almost every weekend.
Excellent. So, Adam, do you recognize rollerblades, but do you know what these are?
No, I was going to ask, what are those?
So anyone else have experience with what these are?
Dad, I could answer that.
Okay.
They were roller skates that you attached to the bottom of your sneaks or shoes to go roller skating before there was a roller skate out there.
That's right. And that little key there is the one that you would use to sort of tighten up the bracket, if you will, to put that skate on. Cool. People had started to get comfortable with one another. It was time to change the category and see if the stories and memories would continue.
The pager on the right below the corded vacuum next to the VCR. I remember my dad was a police officer, and when he got a pager, we thought it was we were the most technologically savvy family ever. And all I wanted to do was just, when he would be home, be allowed to hold it and carry it around the house to hear the beep go off, even though I didn't even know what to do with it.
By the second category, the group was starting to gel. Could this continue? Let's find out as we move to toys and games. Here we go.
Teletubbies, I hated them. They were so annoying.
I see an Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh, was that middle thing, the aquarium kind of thing? Oh no, the hoops that you'd have to get on the...
Was that only at everyone's doctor's office, or was that only me?
That was doctor's office for
Yeah,
sure.
doctor's office special. Totally.
The boxing guys I had, and the slinkies going down the stairs. I used to play with them.
My favorite thing growing up was that, I think it's called Speak and Spell. The bottom center, that one. And I actually think I have that Beanie Baby right next to it, Pudding Green.
Joe, how about you? Anything stick out to you?
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I still have that, and Perfection was one of my favorite games growing up. The football bored me because the men would just go any which way they wanted.
Is Perfection the one at the bottom?
Yes, next to that one.
How'd you play that?
It was like a 30-second timer or 60-second timer, and you had to get all the pieces in before it would pop out.
Oh, kind of like, well, the opposite of Operation. So Operation, you had to get them out. This one, you
Correct.
Got it.
If you put them all in at the start, and then you'd press a timer, and they'd all pop out, and you'd have to put them back in. The board would be like shaking, and if you didn't put it in right, it would come back out, and you had like 30 seconds to do it, and it's very frustrating if you can't do it correctly.
So, Joe, you may find this interesting, but Marissa is the one that asked me to put that picture in there because I gave her a preview of this.
Really?
That was her favorite game growing up, too. So that explains a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. I'll agree with her.
Sean or Cassandra or Adam, we didn't hear from you yet. Or you did, I'm sorry. Anything on here that you have no idea what it is?
I see a baby doll, but it looks like a man.
The one that looks like a ride and the bottom, the top second row from the left. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that
What that is.
pull the things out and the marbles fall?
No, this guy here is an Etch-a-Sketch.
No, the one on
Yeah,
the
next to
left.
that.
This one?
That one.
Yeah.
Ah. Joe, do you know what that is?
I had it. I had an earlier version of that, but I forget the name of it.
Those were Tinker Toys. Tinker Toys were a collection of like wooden sticks and these wooden sort of wheels that had different holes in them that you could put together in different combinations. You could make different shapes or different objects out of them. And Adam, you asked about this doll?
Yeah.
The Sean or Cassandra?
Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
They were like a little bit before my time, but they were like a craze where parents, like I know my mom would like sleep outside of toy stores to try to get them because they were so hard to get. They're called Cabbage Patch dolls.
Hey, Dad,
Yes,
on
sir.
Black Friday when they came out, me and my nephew went to the mall at like 3 o'clock in the morning because they opened it early because of the Cabbage Patch, and we got a bench in front of the store. What a mob scene. People were fighting to try and get into the store to get one. There had to be at least 1,000 people, and the store had 100 of them.
Crazy.
It's actually even crazier to think about, like, one, now because everything is on the internet, but two, because of the pandemic, of like that like rite of passage where parents go and get those things for their kids, the hottest toy. I wonder how different all that will be this year.
At this point in the conversation, things were going great. People were talking and stories were being shared. Things were going even better than I had expected.
All right, cool. So we're down to Cassandra. We've got music or transportation left. We're going to do the last one anyway, so there's no harm.
And we did transportation.
Sorry, we got music and television.
Let's do music.
Music. All right, here we go.
The Spice Girls definitely resonates with me.
Which one?
The Spice Girls.
Mhm.
It was the first concert I ever went to, and I won tickets off the radio back when people listened to the radio all the time and they'd contest. I called in and I won, and I went to the Spice Girls concert with my mom, and it was awesome.
The iPod resonates with me. Growing up, having the little Lime iPod and going on LimeWire and downloading music illegally.
LimeWire, I forgot about that one. I remember Napster, but I forgot.
I was gonna say, I remember Napster too.
I've never heard of that, but
You had to download the songs one by one by one, but it was like every song would take so long because you were on the dial-up internet. So you would like download it and you would just have to leave the room and come back like an hour or two later and you'd have one song.
Pandora.
Go ahead, Cassandra.
I was just gonna say Pandora. That's what I listen to all the time now, or the Spotify.
I see 2 pictures of mixtapes.
Well, take a closer look.
Well, it looks like he's rewinding it with a pen.
Yep. Anybody have any experience with doing that?
Oh God, yeah.
More for
Especially
like
in the car, you hit a bump and it would all come out.
The group hung out together for nearly 40 minutes, and by the end, were freely sharing stories and having a conversation. The method worked. It was far from perfect, but it was a good first example.
There's like the can-do spirit of millennials, and then there's the jadedness of Generation X, and I feel like I have both of those in me all the time, kind of fighting each other.
We were just like a glut of all of the families that came back together after the war.
I think my generation was one of the first ones where our parents told us we could do whatever we want.
We have an overwhelming sense of self-importance.
I think we're a very self-aware generation.
A lot more people starting their own businesses.
There's a lot more creativity in our generation. We're bringing new life to different problems, and we're bringing a new perspective.
Really trying to break the glass ceiling, especially for women.
The syllabus for this course talks about mining the practical know-how and life experiences of all participants so that all generations can have a revealing experience that they can immediately apply at work and in their personal relationships in life. With more than 300 million people in the workforce and 4 generations at play, we begin to see the tiers of our own understanding falling apart. DYNM631 challenged us to improve upon the poor intergenerational communications we have today. I believe there is merit in using memories and experiences to find common ground amongst a diverse group of individuals. My hope is that after seeing this small group in action, that you do too.